AFTV, we're smiling right now, James. A 2-1 victory against Sevilla. Difficult place to go to, but a deserved win for Arsenal. They look good tonight.
Yeah, 100%. It was a really good response to the Chelsea game. Oh, I mean, look, okay, we drew at Stamford Bridge and we've all had our say on how good a point that was and whatnot and the response. But what we saw today was Arsenal level up their performance. We've talked a lot about fluidity. We talked about a lot with Turkish and Forever Arsenal and stuff. On Tactical Insight, we tackled it, Graham and I. Something about Arsenal, weirdly, it was the inclusion of Tomiyasu. He seemed to be popping up in loads of pockets, but there were rotations, there were triangles, and Sevilla really struggled to live with us. I mean, it's so weird to say that in 96 minutes of football, you can sometimes kind of tell the way it's going to go in the first minute. I felt that way at Stamford Bridge. I thought Chelsea looked really on it, and I said as much on the watch-along. In this game, again, that first minute, it was all played in Sevilla's half. Arsenal started with a good intensity, and they built from that. And the good thing is they didn't let their heads go down when two big moments happened. Firstly, Martinelli missing a big chance. How many of those are you going to get? Well, Jesus, a player like him, can make you have another one, and he did. And we responded and got that first goal 1-0 up. But then when they got the goal from the set piece, which was early, it was probably 60th minute, between 60 and 65. And that could have been a moment for Arsenal to wilt a little bit. But they stood up to it, and the one thing this squad and this group has got, whether the performance on the ball is always up there like last season, they've got tremendous resilience, and they've shown that again tonight.
Yeah, and two great goals scored in the game. The two Gabbies.
Yeah. Well, look, it took me a second. I had to be reminded off camera that Martinelli made his debut in the Champions League tonight. So that just shows the mentality of young players like Saka and Gabriel Martinelli who are stepping up on the big stage. They're not fazed by the fact it's the Champions League and they hear the music. They're playing their football and enjoying themselves. With Gabriel Jesus, look, I want to be very clear about this because there's been a lot of discussion via other shows, via other fans I've seen sort of saying that they wanted to have it starting. I have got no problem with the idea that we need another option to Jesus, someone as good. If you can improve, then great. But I do have an issue when it crosses the line into, is Jesus that good? Is he the striker that wins you the league? Is he? Jesus is quality. He really, really is quality. And I know people say, yeah, well, Pep Guardiola was happy to sell him for Haaland. Yeah, because he got Erling Haaland. But Jesus was starting a lot of games and had a really big run at the end of that season before he left in that summer, playing in Champions League semi-finals against Real Madrid for Man City. So Pep Guardiola had no issues rating Jesus and using him. But we need to figure out how we get the best out of him in our team. And in that goal, you saw exactly where you get it. The hold-up play is magnificent. He turns two players and he puts Martinelli in. It was nice to see our wingers high and close to Jesus so that he could bring them into play more, something we didn't see at Stamford Bridge. And they were brilliant, the three of them. I mean, Jesus was the best of the lot. Martinelli superb. I think Saka's still getting up to his best form since the injury. But Jesus absolutely led the line superb. I thought him and Tomiyasu were our best players. Rice in the 8 as that box-to-box looked magnificent as well.
Yep, and it's been a good little few days for Arsenal. In the end, good point against Chelsea. And now looking in control of that Champions League group after Lens and PSV drew.
I'm very tentative when I look at the fixture list because I went to the game at Stamford Bridge saying, some people say, we've got to win. It's a long season, right? It's a marathon in all these competitions. Not everything could be a must-win. You think Man City go into every game going, we've got to win this, if we're to win the title and hit our standards. No, they'll treat anything like the next game, like it's another game. And we beat City, and people were saying it was a must-win at Chelsea. I don't think it was a must-win. I think we can win. I think we should win. But if we don't, look, a point at Stamford Bridge doesn't kill your title hopes. Now, going into this, again, some of that talk about being a must-win, what it was a huge opportunity which we took, and I'm delighted because it's given us really good control of the group. We've got 2 home games next before 1 more away game. That's fantastic. 2 of your 3 away games chalked off, and you're top of the group. That feels good. But I was saying going into it, look, a draw's not the end of the world because across a season, you've got to kind of not plot your way through, but you've got to understand you can't go full throttle all the time. You can't always be at your very best. And sometimes you're going to come up against good teams. And if you can just come out with something that says something. But what I like is that while I might have that slightly pessimistic mentality, Arteta and the boys played with a real intensity today, recognised as an opportunity to really take control of the group and did. So fair play to them. We're top after Lens' draw with PSV. And now we've got 2 home games against the 2 teams. Well, with Lens on 5 points now, and Sevilla, I think the best team in the group. We've got a chance to really put that to bed, and got ourselves in a great position. So, well done, Arsenal. A very good few days, made very good by today's result. But that point at Stamford Bridge looks a lot better now, just because in the context of the City game as well, it's a good run of results. Good response from Lens, that defeat 3 weeks ago, and Now we go into Sheffield United at home and a chance to keep building momentum. So good stuff.